Well guys, I haven't had a video out for a while, so I'm sorry about that. But I've been pretty busy and I've been making a lot of things. I've got really into spoon carving and really into making things, so I've been trying to make my own Firesteels, and then that progressed, and then I started making my own knives using blades from bladesmiths, and now I want to start getting into making even the blades. I've even restored an axe, which I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, I've just been really busy making things for my kit and getting into customizing items and making my kit really stand out. So I thought I'd take the time to make a video and show you some of the things I've been working on, and wish you all a very happy Christmas. Unfortunately, I haven't been on a trip for a while. I hope to be able to go quite soon in the new year, but we'll see how that goes. But I hope you've all been well. I hope you enjoy this short video. Now, when I found the axe head, it didn't have a handle. Its edge was chipped and broken. The whole axe head was covered in rust and pitting. And what I've done is go through, systematically remove the rust, and I've blended the pitting in from a rustic finish at the back to a mirror polish at the edge. I've given it a nice sharpen, and I've rehafted it with a small forest axe handle which I've custom fit to the eye of the axe, and I'm really happy with the results. So the axe head was made by Snail brand tools. You can just about make out the logo there. It's a snail embossed with a 1 underneath it, and it's a hewing type hatchet. It weighs about 1.5 pounds, and on the small forest axe handle it is very comfortable and nicely balanced. So I'm really enjoying using this. I've split quite a bit of wood with it, even though that's not its intended purpose, and I've carved a spoon with it, and I will go on to use it as a carving axe in the future. So in here I have some of the other things I've been working on. So we have a jumbo Firesteel with antler and brass. It's a jumbo Firesteel, so this is a 1/2 inch by 5 inches with a large piece of antler on the back. A slightly more fancy one is another large Firesteel with antler, a brass lanyard tube, some liners and a brass mosaic pin in the top. Then we have one made of micarta with red and black liners and a brass lanyard tube. I'm very pleased with that one. And my favourite of all of the Firesteels I've made is an antler and African blackwood Firesteel with a mosaic pin in the top. Very smooth. I'm really pleased with how this turned out. I put some red liners between the African blackwood and the stag antler. Really happy with how that looks, and I can't bring myself to scrape the Firesteel. I just think it's too pretty. So they're my Firesteels. Spoon wise, this is my most recent. So this is a little eating spoon with a beaver tail style. Really pleased with how this came out. It's got some walnut oil on it at the moment to protect it, but I don't think I'll be using that one. I think that will go on my little display. This is another one. I went for a bit of a wacky shape, sort of like a whale shape on this one. Like the grain of the wood, came out nice. And this one's more of a leaf shape. This is quite an old one now, but I thought I'd show you anyway. I carved this one green. That one was with seasoned wood, and this one was green as well. I have been carving some kooksas, but I haven't had much luck recently. The wood turned out to be mouldy once I'd finished it and wasted a lot of my time. So if anyone knows how to fix that and get the mould out of a kooksa without ruining its ability to be used as a drinking vessel, please let me know in the comments. That would be really helpful. And I also had one crack. So for the time being, I'm just going to use my Kapilka cup. I still have one kooksa that I carved that is usable, but as it's my only one, I'm probably not going to be using it too often, as I want to keep it nice. So I'm going to put these away and I'll show you the knives. Okay, so far I've made 3 knives. The first 3 I've used other people's blades. So this is the first one I've made. I made the sheath out of kydex. I made the Firesteel with bog oak. So this wood is 5,000 years old from peat bogs. It's not stabilised, so this one isn't waterproofed. It's not going to be a heavy user. But the handles are also bog oak, which gives it that really cool classic look with the black wood, with black liners and white liners and brass mosaic pins. If I pop the blade out, so it's got oil on it at the moment just to protect the steel. This is 01 tool steel, and the blade is from Bernie Garland. I think it's his Little Whittler blade. I got the blade blank and then put my own scales on it, and really happy with how this turned out. I went for the sort of classic woodlaw shape, but it's obviously a smaller knife, a 3-finger knife really, but it's actually very comfortable for carving. And this is now my carving knife. You can hear good retention on the kydex. So that's not going to go anywhere. And the same with the Firesteel, that clips in there, and I've got a bit of elastic around it just for extra security. Really happy with the shape of that Firesteel. I went for a sort of knife handle look on that, so that's going to prove really useful, and I'm really pleased with this. I never thought I'd be able to make a knife, and I basically just followed the instructions of Jack Law, so Sandy on YouTube, also Wiltshire Man. He puts up all these really helpful tutorials, and I just sort of copied his process, so I'm really thankful that he's able to share those like industry secrets, because it's allowed me to take up these crafts, and I'm really pleased with the results. So that was the first one, and after that I sort of got the bug for it and bought 2 more blades, and the 2 blades I got, I went to Dorset Woodland Blades, and I got these online. So this is the second one. This is a little neck knife. I did the sheath with a combination of leather and kydex. My leather work isn't great, but I'm learning. So a little snap there, and then you can pop it out. So this is to match that micarta Firesteel. So we have ivory micarta, stainless pins and a stainless mosaic lanyard tube, and red and black liners. The steel on this is L-Max stainless steel, which is a super stainless, and I tell you what, this steel is great. This would be a really good little skinning knife with the waterproof micarta and the waterproof sort of stainless steel. So this is a really useful little neck knife, sort of like a small fancier Izula. And the Izula, as you probably know from some of my other videos, is one of my favourite knives of all time. So this is really cool, and I'm going to definitely be using this a lot. It's a very practical knife for its size, and a pretty knife. I'm pleased with how it came out. The micarta feels really nice. I polished it up nicely, and yeah, I love ivory micarta. My Adventure Swan's also made of ivory micarta. I think it might be standard white micarta, but I can't really remember now. But yeah, so that's the second one. Nice little neck sheath. I'll pop that on now. You'll see all these knives in all of my videos in the future, because I'm going to be using them. I'm still going to use knives by other makers because I have quite a large collection of tools. That's what I like to spend my money on. So I'm not only going to use my own designs and my own knives. I'm going to use my other knives. My SCs are still really good. My Adventure Swans are lovely. But it's nice to be able to add my own handles to blades and sort of just test myself, see what I can do. So this is my favourite of all of them that I made. This is again Dorset Woodland blade, and this is my favourite knife. So it's 6mm spine, tapering to a 2mm combination grind called Flandy, where it's like a full flat where it tapers from 6mm at the spine to 2mm, but then it's got a Scandinavian grind on there. So really good woodworking ability. I like this little thumb ramp at the back, so I really am pleased with the blade I chose for this. It's got a nice 90-degree spine, and the wood I chose is redwood burl, and this has been stabilized, waterproofing it, and it's really nice and hard, and I love the grain pattern in it. It's just absolutely beautiful. I keep finding more little swirls and things I hadn't noticed, so I just love this knife. And again, mosaic pins, and I'm really pleased with how this came out. The white liners against the red wood I just think look really nice and stark, and I was pleased with how this front portion came out. The swoop and the pommel came out really nice, sort of bird beak style. But yeah, I'm just really pleased with it. I'm really quite proud of it, to be honest, and I'm sure I'm going to make a lot more. I'm planning on making a lot more Firesteels as well in the future, because I've just really got the bug for making it. I really enjoy it. So I also made the beads. That's an African blackwood bead and a stag antler bead. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing these, and you're going to see them in future videos being used. I might carve a few feather sticks, but I'm quite low on battery, and so we'll have to see. But yeah, so these I did with blades I'd bought. The next thing I want to see if I can do is make the actual blades, and I'm really taken with this sort of scaleless skinning type neck knives. So this is my first attempt at grinding a steel into a knife blank. So I haven't put the edge on yet. You can see I can do whatever I want with this. There's no edge at all. But I'm planning on either going with a Scandi or a convex on this. I'm going to build a filing rig for hand files to put the edge on. Unfortunately, the old sander I was using to make my knives packed up, so I'm going to have to look at getting another sander before I can do any more. But this is sort of a little skinning knife slash neck knife. Nice little thumb ramp there. I sort of went for a combination between a Warncliffe and a cleaver design, because I like the look of those knives. I don't own many of them. Hardly. I own one, I think, one Warncliffe. So I sort of went for that and then put it on a sort of Skinner shaped handle, and it's a nice handle, it's comfortable, and I think this will be a really practical knife to have in a little kydex sheath around my neck. So that's something I'm going to look at working on. I'll then, if it works, I'm going to send it off to get heat treated, and if it turns out well, then I might think about making some knives to put scales on. But this is the first sort of style knife I'll work on, just these sort of Skinner knives without scales, just to see if I can do the blades and make them effective and things like that. But I'm pretty confident that this would make a nice knife, and I drew the design on paper before and made sure I got all the measurements right, and then ground it out before the sander packed up. So this is something you might be seeing in future being used with an edge on it and having it been hardened and tempered. So keep an eye out, see if you spot me using that, and I'll probably show it if I do get it finished. But I thought I'd show you that as well. And battery permitting, I'm now going to show you carving a few feather sticks with the knives I made. Stay tuned. So I'd planned to finish this video with a bow drill fire, and I was going to make some coffee in my little hearth I have out here, but that didn't go to plan. I couldn't get an ember for the first time in ages. I'm normally quite confident with this technique, but today I just couldn't get it to work. I've had this board work for me in the past, so I know it's not the board, which is made of hazel, but this spindle, it created a dust that was too chunky to actually go to ember. So I think this was just a bit too past, a bit too soft and chunky, a bit punky to actually make an ember. And the two bearing blocks I used, one was this piece of flint, but it didn't really have a deep enough hole for it to stop spinning around, and because the punkiness of the spindle, it was just churning the spindle up. So then I transitioned to just a piece of hardwood, and there was just a bit too much friction to get enough speed. So unfortunately, no bow drill fire today. I can normally do it quite confidently, but it would take me making a new set, and I just don't have time today. So it's shown me I need to practice more, I need to be a bit more selective with my spindle, wood choices and things like that. So it just goes to show, even if you think you can do a technique confidently, always practice more. And it's good, it grounds you and shows you that you're only as good as the amount that you practice. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing these tools. I've really enjoyed making them and I've enjoyed showing them to you. If you have any questions or anything you want to say, just leave me a comment and stay tuned for future videos. I'll hopefully get a trip out soon and hopefully get to use some of these in a proper environment, because I'm still in suburbia here in the garden in the town, because I just haven't been able to get out for absolutely ages. Only just for day hikes really. No camping since my course, which is a bit unfortunate really. I'm starting to get a bit cooped up, but it's Christmas now. So I hope you all enjoyed the video and we'll all have a lovely Christmas and New Year, and hopefully I'll get out on a trip soon. And if you take anything from this video, take the fact that it is possible to make nice pieces yourself. You can make Firesteels, so maybe in the new year try and make yourself some kit, whether it's leatherwork, Firesteels, or if you want to attempt a knife or an axe restoration project, just try it. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. Then I had 2 of the Firesteels I tried to make at the very beginning go wrong, and I just started again. And now I've got all these lovely pieces of kit that I've made. So just keep trying and see if you can do it. If you do make a video on it, please tag the video to me so I can see it. And have a great holiday. See you later. Didn't think I could leave without having a coffee, did you?